All right, this is the front garden. So this year we expanded where you see this blue pole. None of this from there to there was garden. Dave expanded it this year. So what you see here is a patch of callaloo. So once they're big enough, Dave will separate them, and this will all be callaloo in here. Okay, so these are onions, Spanish and white onion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's actually 2 rows within here. So 5 rows of onions there. And then beside, these are tomatoes. We mostly did the Roma tomatoes because they're better for spaghetti sauce. So that we have mostly the Romas, but we do have some beefsteak. 1 cherry, learned that lesson last year. Way too many cherry tomatoes last year. Here we have potatoes and a couple of onion volunteers from last year. And then we have 1 potato volunteer right there as well. All right, let's keep moving. Next, celery, lettuce, and these are peas. Now you're coming into the cabbage patch, purple cabbage, and this is our beautiful gazebo that Dave built. And we just did a little kind of herb garden here. We do have a sunflower volunteer, and we did plant lemongrass, basil, and mint, and lavender, hoping to keep the bugs away, but let's see. Okay, so we're in the middle of the cabbage patch, and these are cucumbers and pickles. The hope is that the pickles are going to grow up the teepee, but remains to be seen. We'll see how that goes. Nothing wrong with trying new things, guys. Okay, cabbage patch, cabbage patch, cabbage patch, and then we accidentally bought a lot of cauliflower, thinking that it was cabbage. So here we are, cauliflower patch. Okay, corns here and here, another 3 rows. Those ones are just coming up. And then this is the garlic and scallion patch. So the scapes are starting to come on the garlic. Found one earlier. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, right here. So if you see this is the scape. And so once that starts coming up, you can break it off. You want to break it off before it gets the flour so that it doesn't take energy away from the garlic bulb itself. All right, so over here we have our raspberry and blueberry patch. So these are the 2 blueberries here. We have another around there, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 raspberry plants here. This is a volunteer. We think that this is a cucumber. We will see. Pretty sure it's a cucumber. There was another one over there. I took it out because it was starting to wind around the raspberry plants, and I mean, I don't think we really need another cucumber plant. This is sugarcane that we planted, just one that we bought at the store, and it actually is growing. You can see actually right now there's a second sprout coming up, so that's pretty exciting. Now we're entering the hot pepper patch right here. Our hot peppers. This is the mandatory, unavoidable horseradish patch that gets bigger every year, no matter what we do. And we are in cabbage patch number 2. So these ones are called early cabbage. Those 4, that was all I could get the weekend of May 6th. So we put those 4 in, and then we have these extra ones. And we've got some green onions and more potatoes. And now we are coming into the strawberry patch. So these plants you see here, these 6 are new, and these ones up here are 3 years old. So you can see that these plants are really happy. And Gwen's already been eating lots of strawberries off of this plant. And so we keep this here to keep the birds away. When it spins around, it's supposed to scare them. I think it works quite well. And the fact that Gwen is out here in the patch all the time. Okay, so this is chives from last year. And then I think that one's called walking green onions. I'm not sure. I have to ask my friend. I don't remember. More strawberries. And over here we have our sweet pepper patch along here, along with another row of onions. These onions you can see are much more mature than on the far side over there. These ones I put in the ground a lot earlier. So these are all sweet peppers. Then we have a row of green onions and dill and kale. That's what we have here. And then this is our thyme plant. These plants are 2/3 years old, depending on which ones we're talking about. We did add this row here this year. So we've already harvested, I would say close to 1.5 pounds off of this plant. And as you can see, it's ready for us to even reap more. So what I did this year is I just folded the ground cloth back a little bit more to give it some more space. Spread out. A couple more green onions. I need to get another row going. Reason being, you want to stagger when they're ready. So this is parsley from last year, and this is parsley from this year. You can tell by the leaves, right? This one really wants to go to seed. So what I've been doing is I've just been paying attention and just breaking these off whenever I find them in hopes that it doesn't go to seed too early. Smells amazing though. I have heard that this type of parsley, like when it wants to go to seed like this, can be a little bit tougher, but so far it seems okay to me. You can see that it's less leafy than this, right? Has a lot more stem, so maybe that's what people mean by it being tougher. I don't know. Is this a thyme plant? No, just a weed. I thought it was thyme for a minute. It looks really similar, right? It actually might be. I'm going to leave it alone. It's just in with the potatoes, that's fine. Okay, now, lemon balm, massive plant. No matter what you do to this thing, it's just still here. This is a row of carrots here. So this second row here was supposed to also be carrots, but it ended up being lettuce. So we're going to have a lot of lettuce this year, which is okay. Our neighbor loves lettuce. And then next we have oregano, 2 different types. So what I did with these, if you can believe it, is I cut half of this plant off, like cut the roots out, and then I put it over there beside the chicken pen to give them their own little herb garden. And they ate it within 5 seconds. I did the same thing with this plant as well. And yeah, it was gone within, I'm exaggerating when I say 5 seconds. I mean more like 5 minutes, but either way. I do not know what I'm going to do with this much oregano. And if you have any thoughts, let me know. And down here you can see these are all of our fruit trees. Cherry tree, apple tree, pear tree, all along there. And they're all surviving and doing well. Hoping to reap something off of them. But I think that's it. That's the garden this year. Highly recommend the ground cloth. It really makes a big difference. A lot less weeding. There's still weeding you have to do. But It's a lot less, and then you reap so much more off of your plants. Yeah, I think that's it. I do have a small herb garden going on the back deck, just with like fresh dill, fresh parsley. So when I want to make dip, or when I want to use things for dinner, I have that available. I don't have to run out here. I tried to get green onions going. It hasn't worked so far. That for some reason they don't like being in the containers. They like to be in the ground. I just threw those ones all in the ground earlier, and they all came up, but everything that I've tried doing in the pot just doesn't like it. So I don't really know why. But yeah, that's it. It's the garden. Happy gardening.